Yes, I forgot about this. Do you hear me well? Good. Today I'm going to talk about creating value from sewage. Next slide, please. So when you hear about a waiting list, what do you think about? Maybe some luxury bag or a car or expensive watch? Next, please. Next, please. 1 year ago, I was very surprised to see this waiting list for animal manure. Uh, I hope in the nearest future I could see something similar about sewage sludge. Next, please. Uh, I work in a company VOW converting sewage sludge, converting waste treatment, um, uh, providing equipment for waste treatment for cruise ships. Next, please. Last year we installed pyrolysis unit on a cruise ship. You could see here the ship accommodating 10,000 people, and 2 pyrolysis units were installed there. Next. Um, Another, our daughter company is a French company, Nataliia Ecotechnologies, developing electrically heating oven to perform pyrolysis of any type of biomass or feedstock, including plastic for molecule recovery. Here on slide you can see some examples. Next, please. I myself a chemist, so when I look at sewage sludge, I don't see a dirty or smelly material. I see carbon, nutrients, heavy metals, and at the same time, a lot of harmful pollutants, including pH, PFAS, so-called forever chemicals, and other. Thank you. Next. Um, when you look at the destination of the sewage sludge in Europe, most of it, or at least big variety, results in or applied for agriculture, used as fertilizer, for landfill, for composting. So there is a circulation of all those harmful, persistent, toxic chemicals which are coming back, which are not possible to remove with the sewage or wastewater treatment methods, and they are coming back to our food we are eating or water we are drinking. So if you look around you in this room, almost every item contains PFAS, which cause cancer, decrease fertility, influence our immune system. Next, please. So if those PFAS harmful or forever chemicals are so harmful, should not we just burn them off in the waste to energy process in some incineration plant? Actually, there is a quite recent research made by a Swedish group showing that high temperature during the incineration not enough to remove all those PFAS, and they are released in the form of emissions, flue gas emissions, in the form of products like ash or gypsum or treated processed water. And researchers report 4 gram of PFAS removed with flue gas emissions during the year. When you compare this number with the tolerable intake made by the European Food Safety Authority, it's 0.6 nanogram. So the difference is 1 billion. That's quite impressive. Next, please. We just finished a 4-year research project where we studied conversion of destruction of those PFAS in pyrolysis process. So we showed that in biochar, you have less than 2% of PFAS. In the emissions, you will have less than 3%. And most of it, more than 95%, or decomposed or trapped in pyrolysis oil. Why it's not possible to give answer if they are decomposed or trapped in the oil? simply because many lab methods are developing right now. So this is very fresh topic. You'll find many answers just in research literature, or of course in a scattering use. So for the moment, if you send your sample to the lab, it's possible to analyze between 40 to 60 PFAS compounds. At the same time, there are more than 15,000 PFAS used in chemical industry. So that's quite scary topic, I would say. Next, please. If you think about application of sewage sludge to agriculture, as in a form of fertilizer or sorbent, you also have to think about ecotoxicity and environmental risks. We published, together with our research partners, we published several research articles shows that pyrolysis performed at above 500 degrees decompose and destroy many of those harmful toxic persistent compounds. Next, please. Previous, please. Thank you. And here we used sewage sludge biochar as a sorbent for such processes as, again, removal PFAS compounds from soil, contaminated soil or contaminated water, and also removal of pharmaceuticals from water. And in many cases, the performance of sewage sludge biochar was the same or even better than commercial activated carbon used as a sorbents. Next, please. If you the cheapest catalyst used in chemical industry probably would be iron catalyst due to the relative abundance and lower cost of precursor. The price of iron catalyst, you will see the range here between 1,000 up to 10,000 euro per ton. For the moment, you will find about 50 different review articles describing performance of sewage sludge biochar as a catalyst for many catalytic reactions. So this is just one example, one fresh article on this topic. Next, please. Here's my one of the favorite research project, which was developed in the UK Biochar Research Center, which shows you several it's so-called cascade application. So when you produce biochar in the first stage production, you perform pyrolysis, of course. At the same time, you perform cleanup from all those contaminants. Obtained product you could use in it's a next stage application. You could use for sorption of different contaminants, or you could also use for loading it with nutrients. In the last case, you don't need any regeneration, following regeneration phase. You just simply dry and apply for agriculture on soils. And in a case, if you use it for sorbent, for PFAS sorption, then you of course need regeneration, which is performed in pyrolysis unit. At the same time, and then you could go further for the following agriculture applications and carbon sink applications. Next, please. Next, please. And next, please. What's about permanence? Yesterday you probably heard, I was not afraid to say, a revolutionary presentation of Professor Hamed Sanei, who showed that biochar carbon capture and storage way could be alternative to the classical way or classical mineralization way in a form of carbonates. So sewage sludge biochar could be stay in soil for million. He is using even multi-million years time scale in a form of very stable material. So this is very promising. I wonder how actions of those carbon credits companies would rise after this news. Next, please. If you try to estimate the value of sewage sludge product in a form of fertilizer or adsorbent or catalyst or carbon offsetting, you would see the following numbers. Some of them are quite impressive. According to EU, in 2020, 27 EU countries produced together about 3 million tons of dry solids per year. So if you convert that amount to biochar, the yield is about 50%. It will result, and also if you account for 20% carbon in that biochar product, it will give you 1 million ton CO2 emissions. Imagine, just to compare this number with something, France, if you multiply this number by 300, France released 300 million tons CO2 last year. So numbers are impressive. Next, please. And next, please. Are we ready to be able to convert and transfer such big amounts of sewage sludge? This year, we are finalizing building a plant producing biocarbon, plant located in Norway, to produce 10,000 biocarbon per year. Next, please. And here's our the latest technology, which is able to convert 5 ton feedstock per hour. It's a hybrid, so it could be both electric or used pyrolysis gas heating. And you could see my colleague staying along that impressive rotary drum reactor. Next, please. Yes, I think that's it. I hope I inspired you a bit with the value of sewage sludge. If you have questions, please come to our stand. Me and my colleague will help you answering. Thank you. Do you have any questions now? Yeah, please.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. Super interesting. A quick question. You talk a lot about big volumes. Do you also see a space for slightly smaller or medium-sized players in valorization of sewage sludge or other sanitary type of waste?
Thank you. Yes, we actually are selling much smaller equipment for much smaller volumes, but we also, at the same time, we see a need for larger volumes because we are focusing on metallurgy areas, huge amounts of biocarbon, and also sewage sludge converting. They need, yes, larger volumes. But we have both. Do you have a questions?
Sorry, I have a second one. And in terms of, so you mentioned 4 types of the possible outlets for biochar made on the base of sewage sludge. So fertilizer, yes, absorbent catalyst and carbon offsetting. Do you see that there's enough market for it? Because you also talk about a lot of volume. So can the market at the moment absorb all the biochar that is being produced?
It's a bit difficult to say because this, even despite research on biochar going the last 20 years, it's still for many people, it's very new product. So you have to sell it, you have to educate your customer. But if you, for example, look at price of a commercial activated carbon, which could reach up to 2,000 euro per ton, and here you have a relatively cheap material. So I guess customer might go for a lower price. So we will see. Yeah. Thank you for your attention.